All right, good afternoon. Welcome to the December 6th edition of Learn, Grow, and Lead. Once again, we're coming to you from the CCC training room, which is what I like to do, but for some reason, this training room and I and technology don't seem to cooperate. So we're gonna do our best to get through this. So what Joel and I wanted to finish up the year with, at least today, I don't know if I will get all the way through it. But as a leadership group here at the company, we thought it was important that we kind of go through real quick, what do our new team members experience at orientation? What are they presented with? I know many of you probably have been through a recent orientation.
For what?
A lot of the team members here, especially in leadership, who've been here more than 4 or 5 years, you haven't experienced
like a gas furnace, like
orientation in the manner
I'm sure
that
we do. I
currently
mean,
do it.
you know,
So by the time we get to this point, by the time they get to orientation, they have experienced our recruitment and hiring process, but our new team members have not really experienced what the culture's like, what our expectations are. And that's kind of what we wanted to touch on, because they come in on that Monday morning and what exactly do they experience? The first thing is they get introduced, I think, to Sam and Eric. And what I'm gonna go through here real quick is just a real quick summary of, in about 10 minutes, of 2 or 3 days worth of information. Okay, so we've got this section of the orientation called GSM Cares. And Sam goes through a lot of the learning education opportunities we offer here. The full presentation is actually something to behold, really. I would encourage any of our leaders, especially if you're leading any team, I would encourage you to come sit in on an orientation when Sam, specifically Sam and Eric, are going through this. So CARES, GSM CARES stands for compassion, awareness, respect, empathy, and strengthen. Now, unfortunately, we don't have time to go through each one of these today, but that is something that might be worth sharing, that presentation. When we send this out, Sam, that might be worth sharing the PowerPoint section of that so our leaders can see that. But we go through this section, and then we get into a good section about diversity and why diversity within our company or any team or organization is important. And he finishes that off with a video. Now, as a matter of fact, I think it's a video we may have shared at one of our company meetings. But I might not play the whole thing because I might not get it to work. But I'm gonna try it anyway.
Looking back at it, I felt the thrill of being part of the.
A.D. Williams once said, "Imagine what 7 billion humans could accomplish if we loved and respected one another." Just imagine. Imagine if there was no greed. Imagine if there was no comparison. If everyone was running their own race, but cheering for all others at the same time. Maybe we'll never see that in our lifetime. But what we all can do is start with ourselves. Start with yourself. Choose to lift others up. Choose to set the example of kindness and integrity, the example of compassion and understanding. There's a quote that says, "No matter how educated, talented, rich, or cool you believe you are, how you treat people ultimately tells all." Integrity is everything. It really is. Who you are is far more important than what you have, and it will always be. Who you are is measured by how you make others feel. Be kind to each other. In a world where you can be anything, be kind. Choose to be the change you wish to see in the world. Decide you will not wait for someone else. You will set the example. Be kind, because you never know how much that person is suffering inside. You never know the difference your words can make, the difference your presence can make, the difference you can make to one human life. Be the reason someone believes in the goodness of humanity. Be the reason someone else decides to make a difference in others. Be the influence you want to see more of. Always do what is right, not what is easy in the moment. Kindness spreads like a virus. When you do good to another, that person does better to those they come in contact with. You really can make a big difference in the world today and every other day. Anne Frank said, in the long run, the sharpest weapon of all is a kind and gentle spirit. No one has ever made themselves great by showing how small another is. Be kind and always build others up to the best of your ability. Treat everyone with the same level of kindness that you would like for yourself. Not because everyone is nice, but because you are. Because karma makes no mistakes. Because it is right. Because you have integrity. Because you want this world to be better when you leave than when you arrive.
That just gives you a quick taste of what Sam goes through. Now, Sam happens to be in here in the room with us. How long does that typically take to go through all that? All right, so I just condensed 45 minutes worth of information in about 5 or 6 minutes. Okay, so that's why you really need to come see it for yourself. But we want to give a taste of the first bit of information that our new team members get into. Then Eric takes the presentation and how I described it, gives it a shot of Red Bull. So he covers an unbelievable amount of information. In fact, depending on the positions and where the new team members are going to be working, it can cover 2 to 3 days worth. So the video is still playing. Yeah. All right. Let's see.
You ever wondered?
60. All right. Sorry about that, everybody. That's what you get for being a working with me. All right, let's try this again. Is that what everybody's seeing the right thing now? No audio in the background, except for my sorry voice. Other than the black screens on the, everybody seeing that? All right, well, so depending on the positions, he might cover 2 or 3 days worth of safety with new individuals. So summarizing some of the things that Eric goes through is what it means to be a safety leader at GSM, situational awareness, stop work authority. That's something that we focus on very early on with our new team members. We don't want anybody walking out on a job site, no matter how long they've been here or how short a period of time they've been here. We want them to understand that they have the authority to stop work. Cell phone policy and why, that's obviously a big one that we talk about a lot and focus on. Parking policy and why, or maybe called the back end policy and why. specific worksite hazards, pre-job planning, personal protective equipment, fall prevention, tools, welding, electrical, material handling. It's a big list. Lions, tigers, and bears, oh my. I bet some of you are too young to even have any idea where that comes from. Anyone? All right. So one of the younger individuals in the room didn't know Wizard of Oz. He goes in such detail, he even talks about how to be safe around Sasquatch or Chupacabra, which is just a smaller version of Sasquatch. All right, we're gonna, then when it comes up orientation videos, so that kind of, I just condensed 12 days of Eric into a couple of minutes. And then after lunch on the first day, then Donna comes in to have a brief session, 20 or 30 minutes with the team before, sometimes Joel might come in. Actually, Joel comes in about any time he wants. Is that pretty much it? I typically come in about 1:30 or so. And Donna plays several videos and just gets them started on the cultural side and what our expectations are on that side. And then we play the video that we made. It's probably been 5 or 6 years ago. And I'm gonna play some of it. You know, it's about time to probably update this video. I might not play the whole thing, but I'm gonna play a couple of minutes of it, maybe.
Welcome to GSM, the greatest place on earth, where all your dreams can come true. Well, maybe that's Disney World, but this is the next best thing. Let's talk today about who we are and what it means to be a team member here at GSM. We just get the job done. We work to exceed our customers' expectations and provide a work environment where our coworkers can both succeed and grow. And we do this by living by the GSM core values. First, it's all about our GSM team members. Our main goal every single day is to get our coworkers home safely to their families. Next, we want our coworkers to feel empowered to take care of our customers no matter what it takes. We want them to be able to make decisions that are in the customer's best interest without having to go up the food chain, so to speak. All of our coworkers must hold the team accountable to the GSM core values by serving each other, our customers, and the community. Second, it's about our customers. You know, it's not rocket science. Customers really only want 3 things: quality work, do what we say we're going to do, when we say we're going to do it. We don't just want to meet our customers' expectations, we want to exceed them. And it's all in the details. We want to leave the job sites better than we found them, be courteous to our customers, show up with clean hands and uniforms, and provide the best value possible. And we do this by providing wow service, which helps us create raving fans. We believe that doing our best to take care of our coworkers, our customers, and the community always leads to the ultimate long-term success of GSM. We don't allow poor character team members on the GSM bus. We do drug testing, background checks, and DMV checks. Before you put on that crisp, clean GSM uniform, we want to make sure you are the caliber person we want representing GSM out in the community. And you must pledge your allegiance to NC State. Well, maybe not the NC State part, but it is very important that you are a high caliber person when you come here to GSM. We are welcome guests into our customers' home or business, and this is a responsibility we take very seriously. We work at our customers' convenience, not ours. We must not be a burden to our customers. Many homeowners have had a bad experience when dealing with contractors, but they are not going to get that when they deal with GSM services. Their experience with us is going to include integrity, trust, and respect with a smile. We work with a sense of urgency and purpose. We're all busy these days and customers just want the work done. We show up on time, give them the choices
All right. Sorry, Sam. Thank you, Sam. So that video has 3 or 4 more minutes, but it kind of goes through our core values and what our expectations are. And the point of that video is to, again, give new team members a feel for what we hope they're going to experience and what they hope and what we hope they see other team members, especially the team members they're going to be working directly with, the experience they're going to see in the way they're going to see their new team members acting, again, to stay in line with those core values. So there's another video that Donna plays, and I'm not going to play it, but it's a great video by Lou Holtz. And we'll be sure when we email out the follow-up, we'll be sure to include a link to that if you haven't seen that video. It's a little bit short. Actually, they're both about the same length, aren't they, Donna? But it's a great video as well, but it kind of gives new team members an idea of what we hope they're going to see and what they can expect at orientation. I mean, at the first few weeks here working at GSM. All right, so the next piece that I do is I kind of summarize our 20 core values into seven pieces. And I kind of talk about why we have the core values. I don't want to spend the time to go through all 20 of the core values, but all 20 are extremely important. I also kind of get a quick intro from each individual team member to kind of share how they ended up here at GSM. And that kind of breaks the ice and gets them talking a little bit. But we go through our core values real quick in a summary. Safety is always first. It's the first one I talk about because it's ultimately, for me, especially with our field personnel, it's the most important one. Second, I talk about empathy and compassion from a leadership standpoint. When you're working with other team members, whether it's here, whether it's at another organization you're involved with, whether it's your family, being able to have empathy and compassion is something I think is important. And we could kind of summarize, we could include 3 or 4 of our core values into those two words right there. And empathy, again, remember the kind of the simple definition of empathy is being able to put yourself in somebody else's shoes, being able to view the world and their experience from their experience. And compassion is just being a nice person, just be a good human. Something I think that has been lacking in general in the last 1.5 or 2 years. Something we could have more of. Third is integrity and quality. This is really big for us. You know, one of our primary core values is provide quality work, and another one is do what we say we're going to do when we say we're going to do it. So a lot of the work that we do is work that our customers don't actually physically see. They might not get in the attic, they might not crawl around the house, they might not get on the roof, they might not get above that ceiling. So we really have to have a high level of integrity. And I'll talk a lot about this with our new team members. So one thing that's super important, if these new team members in the first few weeks go out to a job site and they're not seeing us providing that quality work and having the integrity to do that work, especially when a customer might not physically see the work. And the simple definition of integrity is just doing the right thing when nobody's looking. In fact, some of our customers, even if they saw the physical work that we do, they might know the difference. They might not know the difference. They might not be able to look at it and tell whether it was actually quality work or not. But that's basically what homeowners and customers want, is quality work done in a timely manner when we say we're going to do it. Fourth is wow experiences. Some people call this customer service. But we like to use the word wow experiences because frankly, that's what we want our customers to have. We want to, when we're done with work for our customers, we want them to have exceeded their expectations, not just met their expectations. And that's why we like to use the word wow experience. And frankly, also with the new team members, I talk about the responsibility we have, not just for our internal customers, our external customers, but also our internal customers. You know, we had an orientation today and we had 3 new team members, and I was very specific to talk about that they're 3 of my customers. And part of my responsibility is to do what I can to provide a good environment and do my best to wow them with their experience here at GSM. So think about that when you're meeting a coworker for the first time. What is the experience they're getting from you individually and from your team especially when it's a team member, a new team member coming into a relatively large team. Fifth is education opportunities. This is something we talk a lot about, providing opportunities and providing education. We had an individual, the director of learning, whose full-time job is to oversee all of the learning and education here for the entire company. So that's just that in and of itself, hopefully will show new team members how important it is. But I talk about the apprenticeship program. I talk about our scholarship program at Gaston College. I talk about the tuition reimbursement program. I talk about the weekly training that hopefully and monthly training that each individual divisions are doing. So we spend a lot of time talking about that education opportunity and hopefully the career paths that our new team members are going to have the opportunity to look for. 6 is leadership. Whether you realize it or not, everybody is in a position of leadership here at GSM. The day you put on a GSM uniform, you're riding in a GSM vehicle, you pull up to a stoplight, you walk in the QT, you walk in a restaurant at lunch, you walk up to a commercial customer's building, you are representing the company, you're representing your coworkers, and there is an expectation within our community of how GSM team members act. And just by default, that means you're in a position of leadership every day you walk out of here with a GSM logo on your shirt. But then also, I touch on, hopefully all of our team members at some point will be looking to get into a very specific leadership position. Last is community. We'll talk a little bit about community because the community has been good to us, and I stress how our involvement in the community is kind of built, ingrained in our DNA, and it typically depends on the time of year, or maybe we just had an event. So like today, I talked about the Christmas parade that we had 20 or so team members in the Christmas parade yesterday. I talk about United Way campaign that we're getting ready to kick off next week. And so I really stress how important the community is to the company and hopefully and the opportunities that individuals will have. So I kind of go through that. We talk about whatever our theme is for the year. We give out our armbands. That's important. They give it the armbands, and I wonder if they put theirs on, they're going to show up the first day and nobody that's working with them is going to have the armband on. They lost them, haven't come looking for more. So that's important. And are we exhibiting the learn, grow, and lead? If that's our particular theme, are we exhibiting that as GSM team members, week to week? Depending on the positions that are individuals are coming onto the company, if we have any leadership positions, I actually talk about what I call old school leadership versus maybe what we want the GSM leadership of today to be like. So this particular slide shows George Patton and Darth Vader. So that's kind of what I call old school leadership. There's time and a place for someone like George Patton, but I'm not sure that would work within a company in 2021. And of course, Darth Vader just as soon choke you as coach you or teach you anything. So leadership the GSM way. This slide is representing, book we read, I guess 2 books ago was the Way of the Shepherd. So on the left there, it is a shepherd leading his flock. Then on the right there is a gentleman named John Wooden, who is maybe one of the greatest college coaches of all time. And I would encourage you to study him, but his leadership is more of coaching and leading by example and attention to details. But he definitely wasn't a tyrant and somebody who it was, my way or the highway, more of coaching and leading from a position of empathy and humility, as opposed to, Darth Vader blowing up your entire planet because he doesn't like you. So next I go through what are our guiding principles when we make decisions here at GSM. This is something that I probably haven't shared with enough individuals, enough people. This is a short presentation, but this is all part of the leadership portion of orientation. If we do have someone that's going directly into a field or admin position leadership or sales position or anything else. So we should be able to answer yes to at least one of the following questions each time we make a decision. Related to customers, is this going to improve the experience of our customers and make their lives better? Is this going to make doing business with us easier? So similar to our core values, we can always go back to our core values when we're making decisions. These are a few questions, and these three questions are actually basically the same. First, it's about our customers. Next, it's the exact same question when we're asking if we're getting ready to make a decision, we're getting ready to change something, we're getting ready to add a service for our coworkers and team members. Is this going to improve our team members' experience and make their lives better? Is this going to make our team members' jobs easier? Last is this going to make our community better? So those three C's right there are coworkers, customers, and community. If you notice, those first three questions didn't have anything directly to do with GSM, because what we know is if we're going to make a decision or do something different, do something new, we know if we answer yes to those three questions about the coworkers, customers, and the community, then it's going to be the best thing for GSM. It's going to be the best thing for the company. You also notice there was nothing in there about money or finances. Well, new coworkers will get to deal with that soon enough. The last thing I do at orientation is give all our new team members a copy of the dog poop initiative. It's quite a shock. Most of our new coworkers get quite a shock when I hand out a book with dog poop on the front. And I think I do ask every time is I bet you didn't expect to come to orientation at GSM and talk about dog poop. So, and the answer, no one said yes yet. Yes yet, have they, Donna? But I talk about the importance after the first 30, 60, 90 days for our new team members, how important it is that we do want team members who are willing to take initiative, whether it's on safety, quality, integrity, interacting with our community, interacting with each other. That is an important piece and one of our expectations for team members. Then I quickly go to questions and comments, which I rarely get any. Then Donna Caskey, the headliner, really gets into her 12 hours of all things GSM. But this is actually, this is really where I believe our team members get a real feel for what Joel and I hope our culture and our environment is here. What I'm afraid of is that sometimes they get this rah-rah speech from Donna about what a great place to work, what it is to work, and then sometimes I'm afraid they go out in the field or in the first few weeks, they might not experience that. That's kind of the point of us going through this today. We really want to talk about, make you aware of what new team members, what's shared with them and what they are told. Now, if you could only come to one session to hear one thing, orientation, I would say come to Donna's. Next thing, Elizabeth comes in and talks about our wow service experiences and kind of what our basis is behind that. And what's important about that, though, maybe the most important part, is that's when we want the team leader to come and meet. And they should have already met the new team member through the interview process, recruitment interview process. But this might be the day before or 2 days before they're actually going out into the field to meet their team, to start their specific job. And after all the fire hose information on day one, the team leader discussion and meeting might be the most important. So this is extremely important. And I will tell you, we don't get the best attendance sometimes at these sessions. So sometimes we've been here a long time. We may have been here long enough that we've forgotten what it's like to come in that first day or that second day or that third day. And just having their team leader here to tell them exactly where to go, what time to be there, who's going to meet them, we need to really take that seriously. And I cannot stress that enough. If this is on your calendar, we need you here for that new team member. And if you can't do it, whoever the direct supervisor is for that individual, if you can't do it, then you need to find somebody else that can. It can be explained to them that we've got your back and you matter and this is important. Your first few days is extremely important. So we only have one chance to make a first impression. They get a first impression when they call up here to apply. Our new team members get a first impression when they show up for that interview, they show up for orientation. But the biggest and most important day is actually the first day that they're with their team. That's more important really than orientation, because that's going to tell them whether orientation was actually telling them the truth about what it's like to work here, what it's like to be a team member here, or if it's just a lot of talk. Yeah, I do think some areas of the company we do pretty well with that, but some areas there might be some areas where we can improve on. And I just can't stress enough how easy it is to forget after you've been here a few years what it was like those first few days. So I'm a little bit past 5, so my apologies for going over there, but that's my last slide. So again, I appreciate your time, and please think about this. Think about the first impression. Think about how what is the experience that these new team members are getting in their first few weeks and months, in the continuity that they're feeling and how comfortable. I tell new team members at orientation that our primary purpose in the first few days, weeks, 36 to 90 days is to get you as comfortable as we can in your new position. And that really is what the goal is. So again, appreciate your time. We will be sure to put all these links to these 3 videos in the follow-up email. And if there's nothing else, that's it.
You need a new